Hello friends, and welcome back for another episode of Unstable Spoilers. This award-winning documentary covers Mark Rosewater's slow descent into madness. Some say it was all the YouTubers talking crap about wizards that chipped away at his sanity, but others say that it was specifically Desolator. While the world may never know, two things are for certain. First, Unstable was the last straw. And second, I'm not doing this chill-ass voice for the entire video. I can't. I'm not that mellow. I could get out of bed, like, after 6 hours of sleep and I'm not that mellow. Actually, when that happens, I'm usually just, like, angry. Anyway, Baron von Count is the first card that we gotta look at, and this guy is awesome. I love everything about him. He's actually on a couple cards, I think. He's legendary because, of course. He's a human villain because, of course. Now, he is two-color, which is going to be really hard to play, like, as an actual deck. But I think the whole splashing, generate a universal, color of your choice once, I think that might be doable. Then again, drafting mono is a little bit weird, so I might be way off. It's just the colors really don't work with other colors at all. But, I mean, that's not to say you couldn't put two in the deck. So, assuming you went red-black, you could go with this wonderful 3/3. And when he enters the battlefield, he enters with a Doom counter on 5. I guess they mean literally on the card artwork. Why it couldn't be 5 Doom counters? I don't know. So get this, whenever you cast a spell with the indicated numeral in its mana cost, text box, power, or toughness, move the Doom counter 1 numeral to the left. That could have been phrased a lot better, because that's not going to work in right-to-left languages, like, I want to say Chinese. For sure Japanese. I don't think Chinese does that. I'm actually not sure that this is printed in Japanese, though. Anyway, get this. This is awesome. When the Doom counter moves from 1, so basically off of 1, destroy target player. I mean, how long have we been waiting for destroy target player? Everybody jokes about, but this says destroy target planeswalker, and aren't the players planeswalkers? Ha ha ha. That joke goes back to when planeswalkers were invented. Oh, and then you reset it to 5, by the way. So it could be anywhere in the text box, which is huge, the power or the toughness, or the mana cost. I mean, probably 5 spells would do it. I mean, maybe not if you look maybe 7 or 8 on average, but you could destroy a target player in 5 spells. Now that's, how many cards you really have in your hand, but still, this is pretty sweet. I like this. I mean, when it really starts ticking down there, you're going to have to do something about this guy, so I just love this card. Next up, we've got Buzzing Wackadoodle. What? It does other things, why shouldn't it? I hope you get that reference. Nobody got the .hack sign reference in that other video. None of you. I hate you all. That's it. I'm deleting my channel. Screw it. Anyway, as Buzzing Wackadoodle enters the battlefield, you and an opponent each secretly choose Whack or Doodle. I mean, obviously Doodle, but then these choices are revealed. If the choices match, Buzzing Wackadoodle has that ability. Otherwise, it has Buzz. So, if you and the opponent both chose Whack, then it gains the ability Tap, target player loses 2 life. If you both chose Doodle, which obviously you both did, you will give it the ability Tap, you gain 3 life, and then Buzz, if they do not match, then you can pay to tap it and draw a card. Now, all 3 of those are pretty good. I'd say the gain 3 life is probably the least useful, because, I mean, that just buys you some amount of time that may be equal to or greater than 1 turn, but also could be lesser than. That could have been phrased better. The whole tick them away for free for 2 life, I mean, that's a 10-turn win max, so that's not bad. And then, drawing a card is drawing a card, but you have to pay for it. So I think Whack would be the most powerful, so nobody would ever choose it, which means the owner of the card, the controller, is going to probably choose Whack all the time, which means that the opponent should always choose Doodle, and then it's always going to be Buzz. And for those of you who are like, Des, you're taking these cards too seriously, I come to win, okay? I don't care if I'm playing checkers against a 4-year-old, I am gonna bring it. I don't care if this is the silliest format ever made, and I guarantee it's not. I mean, some of the stuff I've made up is out there. I mean, it's not a truly proper game type until you have, like, a Nickelodeon sound effect that says, Physical Challenge. Ride a tricycle off the roof of your local gaming store. Don't do that, by the way. But yeah, I love this. This is such a great card. I mean, they should honestly print this in a legit set. By the way, if you think I'm way off there, they actually have voting cards. I mean, they're pretty old, but I've seen them. They let, like, you vote and then somebody else votes, and then it's the exact same card, basically. Next up, I did not see this coming. Curious Killbot. It's an artifact creature, subtype Killbot, and it says whir, beep, click, click, question mark. No, I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. And it's a 2/1. It's just a straight up colorless 2/1. And I think this was like, we just need to move the game along. You know, I need a creature that can hit for 2 and be like a 10-turn threat. And it's colorless, so anybody could draft it if they're creature short. So I think this is just like a purposeful fix the game, fix the draft kind of card. And I like it. Now, if I'm way off and there's some kind of reference in the artwork of the name, feel free. Otherwise, I think they just like straight up threw this in to make the, I don't know, the set work. It does have a watermark though, so watch that. Next up, we've got possibly the greatest card that I've seen so far, Extremely Slow Zombie. This is basically the inverse of Supersonic Snail or whatever from one of the other unsets. Okay, so it's a 3/3 for 2 zombie, so it's actually pretty good, but it has Last Strike, which is my new favorite keyword. Almost called it an ability there. This creature deals combat damage after creatures without Last Strike. That's right, there's now 3 combat phases. Spoiler alert, there's actually 4. And honestly, this could be a real mechanic. That is what's so nuts about these cards. They could legitimately call it like Strike Back or something like that, or like Slow Strike or Last Strike, and like it could be on a real card and nobody would think it's that outrageous. And you would definitely put it on a 3/3 for 2 because that's the balance. And then it would be like every other creature that isn't this gets first strike, and then like there's the disadvantage, and yeah, I mean it's such a good mechanic. So next up we got some creepy looking artwork, Grusilda Monster Masher, another black-red mix, which that seems like a lot, and it's another legendary creature. It's just odd. So she is a zombie, also a villain, of course, and it's 5 cost 4/4. Combined, enchanted, and equipped creatures you control have menace. So I believe by combined they mean melded, but that might also include Big Furry Monster, I think it was called. So anything with an enchantment or attached to it, and anything wearing equipment would have menace. So that's already pretty good. By the way, I don't think I've seen any equipment in this set, though. So you can pay 5, tap it, and put 2 target creature cards from graveyards, anybody's graveyards, onto the battlefield, combined into 1 creature under your control. Oh my god. I need to read these at a time. Okay, its power is equal to their total power, its toughness is equal to their total toughness, and it has their names, mana cost, types, text boxes, etc. So all the keywords, all the abilities, all the everything. This is brilliant. I love this. They could, once again, make this a real thing, and then we'd basically be playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, but still. I feel like if they did make it real, it would be pretty broken, which kind of indicates the power level of this card. It is really powerful, and you can take your opponent's creatures out of their graveyard. Next up, it's not Jackknife, it's Jack Knight, of course. And he's riding on a giant wheel, like a unicycle motor unit, I don't know. It's a 1/1 for 2, and whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Jack Knight. If that artifact is a contraption, because keep in mind they are artifacts, Jack Knight gains lifelink until end of turn. Ooh, is this powerful. I love this. This could single-handedly keep the game alive while also being like a long-term threat. I mean, this is kind of like the inverse of Fretwork Colony, which is one of the most powerful cards in Standard right now. Very, very overlooked, though, by people. When you force your opponent to waste a kill spell on a 1 or 2 cost creature, you are playing the game correctly, and that's exactly what this does. Next up, we've got a very strange card, Mary O'Kill. Not sure if that's supposed to be like Jack-O-Lantern? I mean, I don't know why it's kill instead of lantern. Got me. Legendary creature, villain. So apparently a lot of the villains are black and red, and this is quite literally black and red. It does cost 6, but it's a 5/5, and guess what? You could pay 2 mana, split either color, so you could pay either black or red. That's what that means. Switch a Killbot or Mary O'Kill in your hand with 1 on the battlefield. So I believe, the way I'm reading it, that this is an activated ability that can be activated while she's in your hand, because it says switch a Killbot or Mary O'Kill in your hand with 1 on the battlefield. Now, you got pronoun confusion here because what do they mean by one? You know, so I'm not 100% sure. Might have to look up the card ruling. Some of these, I mean, it's just like lazy writing. Like if the players can't figure out how the card works, then it just stalls out the game and nobody's having fun. So I think they made at least 2 other drastic mistakes in confusing cards so far. And of course, this is number 3. But as far as the switching thing, I guess it's kind of like ninjutsu, just not during combat. Well, could be, doesn't say it's sorcery speed. If a creature is tapped, the switch creature is tapped. The same is true for untapped, attacking, blocking, enchanted, equipped, and targeted. So it's just straight up swapped. Any counters on a creature are on the switched creature instead. So this is actually pretty cool. I guess this is why they printed the blank killbot, although I still think my initial reasoning kind of stands because, I mean, did they really make it so it works with just one other creature? So at any point you could swing with the killbot and then be like, oh, okay, I'll block it. Boom, pay to switch it, and now she's attacking 5/5. That is a fun little trick, and I guarantee it only works once. Now the question is there a killbot that's even bigger than her? Because then you could swap that while it's in your hand. Now, the other thing, though, is if they target her with a destruction spell of some sort or exiling whatever, then you could swap her with a different killbot, you know, swap back, I guess, and then that one would get destroyed instead, but then she's kind of stuck in your hand. So interesting little maneuverability there. Let's take a look at the next one. More or Less, and it's a creepy looking eye. So what does this strange card do? Well, it's a 1-cost blue instant. Add or subtract 1 or 1, from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. Huh. I mean, I get what they're going for, but that really could have been phrased better. They could have just said add or subtract, you know, 1, like the value 1, which would be represented by the number, from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. So anyway, I mean, if it had 1 toughness, you could just outright destroy it. It would just have 0 toughness, and then as a state-based action, be destroyed, hopefully. So this is kind of neat. I mean, you really got to think to use this. It just looks like fun, and it only costs 1, so I like it. Next up, we've got Split Screen. It's a 4-cost artifact with a stamp, or I should say watermark. I think I've been calling it a stamp. When Split Screen enters the battlefield, shuffle your library and deal it into 4 libraries. Fun. If anything refers to your library, choose one of your libraries for it. That's awesome. Play with your library's top cards revealed. Ooh. When Split Screen leaves the battlefield, shuffle your libraries together. Once again, this would be a little bit out there for an actual standard set, but oh my god, it's like that Caryatid thing, but better. This just looks like a mountain of fun, and that artwork is just freaking hilarious. I love this. So next up, look who's back. The countdown is at 1. Oh my gosh. Except it isn't, because it doesn't really have anything to do with that card, but oh god, it's basically Shahrazad, but fixed. So players play a magic sub-game starting at 1 life, which is why it's fixed, and using their libraries as their decks. And then for the rest of the main game, so like the original game that was proceeding before you cast this, if a source would deal damage to a player who didn't win the sub-game, it deals double that damage to the player instead. And remember, the player who's playing this is probably playing red, so they could just pull some equivalent of shock and then, ta-da, I won the sub-game. Now the funny thing is you'd have to set down your hand and set it aside, effectively in exile, and then draw 7 more, and then you can't use any of your lands. You basically got to pack it up and put it all back, which is just stupidly annoying. But this shouldn't take more than like a couple minutes because you're at 1 life. So this seems just annoying enough to be annoying, but just fun enough to be fun. So I don't think a lot of people will be purposely drafting this, but I mean, they're in control of whether they cast it or not. So, oh wait, but then they can't use what's in their hand. And they'd have to memorize what's left in their library. And they'd have to be, just to run around this card, would have to be running like nothing but super cheap creatures. And then it wouldn't matter if they deal double damage. Mostly because it's only to the players. So, oh boy, I don't know. I don't think this is a very like effective strategy. Anyway, the last card we got for you today is 3-Headed Goblin. Oh my gosh, I love this. I think this is on the booster pack artwork, actually. It's a 5-cost. It's a Goblin Mutant, because of course. I think I saw one of these in Fallout 4, by the way. It has Triple Strike. Oh crap, I read this wrong. Earlier I said there's now 4 combat phases. There's only 3. Or damage phases, pardon me. There's a whole bunch of combat phases. Anyway, it has first strike, regular strike, and last strike. I thought it was going to be like hyper strike, first strike, and regular. I just saw the name. I didn't actually read the card earlier because I like reading them right now. It's more fun. Y'all get a genuine reaction that way. So, yeah, he's just straight up a 3/3 with triple strike. So he actually deals like first strike 3, regular strike 3, and then last strike 3. So he's kind of almost like a 9/3. But it's like, what would you go up against a 1/9 wall? I mean, how would he not get hit? Well, I mean, if he gets through, like if he hits the player, that's 9 damage though, for real. So, I mean, he ain't no joke. I can see why they made this a rare. That is some combat effectiveness right there. So what do you guys think of today's cards? Is it completely and utterly nuts? I think this batch made the game look a lot more fun, with the exception of one really confusing, annoying card. But I don't know, I'm just looking forward to drafting it, certainly. I mean, I'm already sold on it. We've only seen probably half the cards-ish, something like that. If you want to catch the rest of these spoilers, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next video.